And the appearance of us, of course, means it is noon Eastern Time on a Wednesday, which means it's time for the High Noon Hemp Show. Of course, from many places, live and video on demand on the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel, also on the Hemptations Beach Facebook page, and at Hemptations on Twitter. Of course, the audio version, Podbean, Google Play, iHeartRadio. Just search the High Noon Hemp Show, or search the High Noon Hemp Show on Google or Bing or whatever. You're sure to find us because, as I said, we are everywhere. I'm Joe Clare. I do various things on the interwebs that you can Google. He is Beach, high above the Hemptations in Sharonville. Beach, how are things in the world of Hemptations this week?
Chug-a-lug-a-lug-a-lug, I guess, still moving forward. It's a good thing. Still, we're still around. We're still around. Yay! We are 91 episodes into the High Noon Hemp Show. If we can count on one thing, it's that we will be here on Wednesday at high noon, unless, of course, there's an emergency.
Yes.
But
Or
chances are
issues.
we are here.
You never know.
Or technical issues, which, we like to get right up to the edge and see if we're going to make it. I feel like we're scrambling around, even though we're not going anywhere when there are glitches. So anyway, here we are in Clearview at all those places that we go live. Later, you can check out podcasts, YouTube. I think I glitched there for a second. Anyway,
a little bit.
I'll move slowly. The contest is over. We will be announcing the winner next week. And again, if you haven't yet subscribed to the Jedi Hemp channel anyway, watch us on YouTube. I hear it's a much better picture, if nothing else. And so anyway, try that. Here's something I guess I don't say enough now, but I think it's great because it's the reality of it is pretty awesome. We have a lot of hemp products made out of hemp things. But now I can actually say that all pipes we sell, all the water pipes, the vaporizers, all that is for the hemp that we sell as well, because we sell hemp flower. We sell hemp shatter. We sell hemp dabs. We can sell you a rig and sell you CBD, 100% legal. I want to be clear. Nothing's changed there. We're not a dispensary now. We haven't changed anything. It's just that now that we have this full line of CBD products in just about any form that you can use it, and any good CBD store or place should give you a very good selection, even though needed in a couple forms. But I do think that the flower part of it is important as far as a transitional way that some people are already used to. Or even if I truly believe if you're trying to quit smoking cigarettes, we now have a CBD, they call them hempettes, basically, but it's a pre-rolled in a pack, and no nicotine again anymore, but it does have CBD, which is going the other direction, which will calm you for your nicotine addiction, I think. And so I think that they could be a good transition for people that are trying to actually quit smoking. And to me, it's still amazing how many people still smoke cigarettes. But that's the power of nicotine. Absolutely. That's the power of nicotine, all in all. And so, if we can, and, there's a lot of mental things, especially like the hand, mouth. You get used to that. It's really your brain craving the cigarettes. But I think if you could replace the cigarette with a non-nicotine something, I think that would definitely help you transition to not smoking anything if that's your goal. I think it would definitely make it easier, probably mentally. I don't know about physically, so to speak. And again, there are some physical side effects to quitting tobacco. They only last a couple, 3 days, though, really, maybe a week, all in all. But there are some, and so you got right out of the gate, you're going to have to deal with that. And again, I think that a lot of people will say that it made them angry not smoking. And again, I don't know how much of that's mental or well, that's obviously mental. That's an emotion. Being angry is an emotion. So, but so once again, I think that possibly that CBD hempette may aid them in getting over if they're actually if being angry is a side effect of quitting nicotine, if it really is. Um, some people just act mean and then they use excuses to act mean. But there's a lot to it. Again, nicotine is one of the most highly addictive substances on the planet, if not the most addictive substance on the planet. Um, and so, I quit cold turkey, and I didn't smoke for very long, but I did. And well, actually, I should say because I dipped. Grew up in Kentucky as an athlete, so we dipped, and then I smoked for a little while, and I quit cold turkey. But they say that's one part is ways you to buy their patch or whatever. The best way to look at it is just put it down and don't do it again. And every time you want to do it, you got to tell yourself. I talked to myself out loud when it came to that. Yeah, I know you want a cigarette, Beach, but don't smoke it. Again, at least you could grab a hemperette and see if that helps as well. But my point to all of this is the fact that we don't sell tobacco and we don't sell tobacco products. I want to be very clear that we don't sell tobacco and we don't sell tobacco products. Okay. You wouldn't walk into one of the new hemp stores that has flower and then has a pipe to sell you and say that's a tobacco product.
Yeah.
We sell our products for legal herbs, including CBD or mainly CBD, for that matter. But we have CBD in just about every smokable form as well now, and so that's what all our products. Of course, you still have to be 18 or older to buy a pipe. You got to be 18 or older to buy a lighter. You got to be 18 or older. And, for all intent and purposes, and I always said that we didn't make these rules just for the fun of it, but I can legally say, in all honesty, and I don't, know how they could really fight this is, to be honest with you, if you're selling someone a legal smokable herb, why couldn't you sell them a pipe? And there's no age restrictions is my point here. I'm not saying I want to do that or you should do that. I'm not trying to encourage minors or young people, to do anything. But what I'm saying is if it can help them, we should allow it to help them. And there really isn't a law on that. Again, we don't sell tobacco products. We don't sell tobacco. And so, the legal herbs that we sell, there really isn't an age restriction on those. There's not a legal age restriction on CBD. And so people may think that there is. It's just a legal herb, so to speak. And again, there is no age restriction on herbs. And so it's an interesting conundrum. Of course, once again, I'm not going to change our rules and start letting it get out. But I can tell you this, for parents, if the kids really want to think they're cool by buying some CBD flower and a pipe and smoking it, it's probably good for their mental state. It might actually give them some clarity. And it's not going to get them high. I want to reiterate 100%. It's not going to get them high. CBD does not get you high. CBD will never get you high. And so, that is what it is. All right, cool. Let's get right into the product spotlight. We got some new sparkling water flavors. We have a root beer, a cola, a ginger ale, and a black cherry. And of course, we had the lemonade, which I really like. And these are 20 milligrams of CBD. But I had a root beer, and it, tasted like root beer to me. And so I haven't tried the other ones. I'm not a big ginger ale fan, but I will eventually try that. I'm interested in the cola. Mary said the cola tasted just like a cola should taste. And so um, there you have it there. Those are new and fresh flavors for some CBD drinks. And then we also got those CBD cider back in. This stuff went over crazy when we got it in. Couldn't keep it in stock, and I finally restocked on it. And so if you've been in the stores and you're missing the auto cider, I haven't any of these yet. Again, not a huge cider fan. It's very good for you, I believe. Apple cider vinegar is supposed to be really healthy, or supposed to have benefits, so to speak. But if you're a cider fan, I hear these are just absolutely delicious. And so I'm trying to spot I should know, and I'm not positive what the content of CBD is in that. So I'll have to look that up. Or I don't think it's on the bottle anywhere, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Which
I see
normally,
THC free, but
yeah, normally I would say that's shady if it doesn't tell you how much CBD is in it. So I'll find out and let everybody know. I almost wondered, wait a minute, I have a chart right here on my desk. Let's just see if it's on here. 30 milligrams. So, that's a decent amount of milligrams for sure for your bottle of cider. So there you have it. The next product is we've just got in the full line of Ocb Hemp Papers. And so there's one customer that I have that they let me know when I'm out of the single wide ones, but we got the whole line in now. Again, for your legal herbs, for your CBD flower, if you want to get your CBD flower, your hemp flower, and take it home and roll it up in some hemp papers, there you have it. The slim is really, I think, what you would call a king size, which is interesting. And then you get the 1 1/4 and the single wide on the old. And if you don't know, OCB stands for other brand, or at least that's what was said. And I'm pretty sure that. And again, they're inexpensive. They've always been, no matter what type of paper they have, and they have paper papers, whatever that's made out of, and a couple other kinds of papers. And so anyway, and they're very, very economical. So if you like hemp papers, give the old OCBs a try. And the last one, and this is new, and this is the he was even so excited that I glitched. This is the first time we have ever done this as far as releasing a product, not ours, but a product to the public, is the Rackle shoes. Now, the reason this is a first is because you can't buy these in the store yet. But you can go to hemptations.com and pick out your pair of Rackle shoes. They come in both women's and men's sizes. Honestly, it's the same shoe, but I've got them on the website so it's not confusing. So you can go to the men's, pick out your size in men's, or you can go to the women's and pick out your size in women's. Yeah. It is a unisex shoe. If you don't know the conversion, normally, if you're ever buying, say, if you're a woman and you're buying a man's shoe in your size, you go up a size and a half. And so that's the difference. So if it's a men's 6, it's a women's 7.5. Okay. That's how, or vice versa. That's how it is. It's about a size and a half. It's a size and a half difference. And so if you're ever searching for the opposite sex shoe, so to speak, if you're a man, you go down a size and a half. Obviously, if you're a woman, you go up a size and a half. No, I'm sorry, that was opposite. If you're a woman, you go down a size and a half. So if you're a 6.5, you go down to the men's 5. If you're a man and you're a 5, you go up to the women's 6.5. Do the math right. I can't do it right now. I'm getting all confused. The point here is we've made it easy at hemptations.com, planeteverywhere.com, the shopping site. You just go and you click on the size shoe, whether it's men or women's, or non-binary or whatever, however you know what size shoe you wear. Go pick one out and try them. The uppers are 100% hemp. The shoelaces are hemp and recycled material. And the soles, these are just genius. It's a patent pending sole that they've got here. Biodegrades in 450 days. So when you're done with these shoes, once again, this is a shoe that you can take and throw out bury in your backyard. A year and a half, no traces of it anymore. The hemp will break down very quickly. The hemp will be gone in months. I've never seen the biodegradability of what a study we should do. I might just go see, but I'm doing this little biodegradable study on hemp material, because again, hemp materials has different thicknesses and whatnot. And so, but I would say that even the heaviest of hemp canvas would biodegrade in months. No doubt about it. If you took some hemp canvas buried in the backyard, it'd probably be gone pretty quickly. The thick may last a little bit longer, but so once again, we are going to get these in the stores, and so you will become in the store, and I'm going to try to figure out how I can have every color and various sizes in the stores, and then maybe move sizes around. If you come in, so we'd have one size of every size you could try on. But if we didn't have your color, it might be at another store. I don't know but we'll figure out how to do it one way or another. But for now, you can just go order them online. They're $89.99. And again, 6 ounces. I forgot to tell you, 6 ounces. They weigh nothing. And this is the first day that I've worn my pair that they sent me. Thank you very much, Rackle Shoes, for doing that. I was convinced before, but as you'll see in a moment, when we get to our favorite segment of the show, today I am wearing them, and I can tell you I'm not finicky, but I know shoes. One of my first kind of jobs out of college, I worked part-time at the Foot Action, and so I learned a lot about shoes. I know a lot about comfort and what it comes to expect from a shoe, so to speak. And I'll say, man, they're pretty comfy, and again, just knowing that they won't be around once I'm done with them, which of course I'll have them for life because I'm a shoe collector, so I don't know if they'll ever get biodegraded, so to speak. But knowing that they can be, and they will be, and they're natural one way or another whenever we're done with them, wearing them, hopefully for hundreds of years. I'll pass them down to my kid, and he can pass them. Of course, he doesn't wear one the same size, so that never works with shoes. You can't pass down shoes to your kids normally, unless you're lucky enough to actually have the exact same size as your child. Yeah. It does kind of make it hard. I am sure that he wishes, I know that, he wishes that he could wear my size, because he likes his shoes too, but he doesn't have the shoe collection I have. Not yet, anyway. He'll be working on it soon enough. So there you go. The product spotlight. 4 from the store, as we like to say. It was actually 3 from the store, 1 from the online store, and then the next one from my door, which I almost forgot, which is this koozie. I figured summertime, we're using koozies. That's for sure. This is actually this was a prototype that we made at Planet Everywhere. So these never went into manufacturing. And so this became obviously part of my personal goods, and something that I use on occasion, because koozies are good, especially when it's 90 degrees out and you're outside and you would like your hemp CBD drinks to stay cool. Unfortunately, we don't sell these in the store. We do have a hemp koozie in the store now, with different kinds of sayings on them. I wish we just had that. Just wish they made them plain, but I don't think they do. But needless to say, I'm pretty sure they've been on the product spotlight in the past. So there you have it, folks. 3 from the store, the brick and mortar store, 1 from the online store, and 1 from my door on the product spotlight, part of the High Noon Hemp Show.
Indeed.
It's Wednesday.
We
It's high noon.
continue
We're
with
here.
the clothing, of course, with the
Oh, of
the
course.
favorite segment of anyone. Whoever watches this show, if this is not their favorite segment, I don't know what else would be. There's nothing better. You
I
learn
can't
things.
imagine.
It's about fashion. You can get dressed. It's got all of those things together, all in one
It
segment.
does.
We just jam it all in the same segment. The fashion and the learning and
Can you
everything
believe it?
is the beachwear segment. We ask the most important question of the day: what are you wearing, beach?
Done. Well, I started to do a drum roll and it turned
There you
into
go. We really need sound
choking on
effects.
the last little bit of my coffee. I, mean, I really wish I could have recorded that sound just so that could be the intro from here on out. If you are asking yourself this day, what are you wearing, Beach? Now you will know. Broke out the old 420 snowboards hat again because it is so hot outside. Thought I'm going to wear a hat that resembles a cold sport. This was made by Mother Earth Gear, and I haven't done it yet, but you can go to motherearthgear.com and check out their stuff. Now, I have not done that, so I don't know what kind of stuff they have there, but I am going to do that at some point today. I also got one of my favorite tees of all time, my Kentucky Hemp Outfitters tee. Again, I took the picture of the back of this tee because we kind of made our own logo, Hemptations Ohio license plate looking t-shirts at one point or another, because I just loved how that looked when they did it at Kentucky Hemp Outfitters. Satori shorts with my green spring technology pen in my pocket as always. Hemptopia briefs with my Hemp Traders no-show socks, which we sell in the store, and my Rackle shoes. There you have them on my feet. At first, I almost thought they were a little snug, but I really feel like, and again, with the hemp, I do feel like it's going to stretch out a little bit. Hemp does have that availability. And so I really think, again, I think the sizes, at first I wasn't really sure if the size was on. It wasn't uncomfortable when I put it on. Again, I know if a shoe doesn't fit my feet because it's too small. And again, you should never have your big toe rubbing on the front of the shoe. There should always be space there, just so you know if you really want to. And of course, most people know that. And a lot of shoes don't really stretch out, but don't expect them to if your toe is actually touching the end of your shoe. And our big toes are very important, just so you know. It's the basis of our stability. So protect that sucker as much as possible. That being said, I stubbed mine recently, and I hated every second of it. And so there you have it, folks. If you're wondering, what are you wearing, Beach? It's a blue day, and it's a brand new pair of Rackles. First time I ever wore them on the show today.
Debut.
That's right. I love their concept. I love their materials. I love everything they're doing. So we're going to be promoting those, and hopefully we'll get them in the store soon enough. Got a little bit of news across the planet this week. Not a whole lot, but a little. This is kind of big news. I haven't even had a chance to look at it if it's available to look at, but apparently the FDA has sent over their guidelines or their whatever they've come up with over to the White House. And so I know the article that I saw mentioned that some of the bigger hemp companies, I don't whatever that means, we're talking with the FDA. What they've really come up with is going to be interesting. I don't know what that really means. I guess if the White House approves it, then will be the FDA guidelines on CBD. And I will, try to find some more information on that as quickly as I can. I just saw the article today before the show. And so that's going to be interesting as to what the FDA has to say to the White House about CBD. Here's what bodybuilders say to the White House about CBD. No, Bodybuilding Magazine. Bodybuilding Magazine did an article on what's good for iron, and so of course on the list is hemp seed. So hemp seed is high in iron. Now that can be a good and bad thing, because too much iron can lead to health issues. My understanding is some heart disease issues, as well as possibly dementia, too much iron. But as far as bodybuilders go and workout and athletes go, they have a risk of having low iron. I feel like iron is also an issue with women, just because of, I think iron is definitely something that's in the blood for sure. And so I don't know how much of an issue that really is, and whether, they really have to regulate or watch their iron because of that, of the female monthly stuff. And so either way, the lesson here is, amongst other things, and I have another. Oh, I missed that. I messed it up. It wasn't the Bodybuilding Magazine. It was just something about athletes being at risk for low iron and hemp seed being high. I'll get to the Bodybuilding Magazine in a minute. And so anyway, lesson is, as well as all the other things it's great for, which I'll tell you about in a second, iron's on the list. But if you have iron issues, and you should make sure, we don't want too much iron, so be careful, and you don't want too little. So regulate that. Keep an eye on that. However you do that, I'm not sure. They prick yourself and test your blood for iron levels, maybe. I'm not sure how you would do that. The U.S. House of Representatives overwhelmingly approved an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act to allow the military personnel to use hemp products, including CBD. Now, when I say hemp products, I want you to know something. The military is adamantly telling their personnel not to use any hemp personal care products. We're talking about shampoo, soap, conditioner, because and again, this just cracks me up, because they don't want to get the knowledge, or actually give the knowledge, and I was just talking about this, to them, as far as actually what has THC in it or not. Okay. Now, what I think is interesting is we just published an article on the Hemptations Beach page. We didn't publish it. We posted it. We posted an article on the Hemptations Beach page a couple weeks ago that they were encouraging veterans to use these toed shoes, the Vibrams. I wore them last week, so you can go back and watch last week's episode. Anyway, that have hemp in them. And so it's so funny. It's like they should have the same concern about hemp clothing. Like the military should be like, don't wear hemp clothing if they're really so adamant, because there is no THC. There is no THC in shampoo and conditioner. And again, even if it's CBD, there's still, the military personnel to test positive for THC for a full spectrum CBD product would be unbelievable. Like, if they're taking that much CBD daily, I would question whether they should be active duty to begin with. Because it would take like 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams of CBD daily to even come close to failing a drug test. Okay, and if you're taking 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams of CBD daily, that is a serious health issue. I'm sure of it. And so whether it's anxiety, again, if you got that much anxiety, I wouldn't want you behind the gun, so to speak. I don't want your finger on the button. It's true. I'm glad you're getting your CBD, but sheesh. And again, if it's a pain related issue, which a lot of people use CBD for, and you're in the military using 3,000 to 5,000 for a pain related issue, once again, you need to, again, you're probably trying to avoid going actually to the Veterans Hospital, because they're not very good at that either. As you can, they're trying to take a perfectly logical substance that military personnel should probably be using for whatever reason. And that's hemp foods included. And again, the hemp foods thing has been a while. The shampoo and conditioner stuff is just kind of new. That's kind of a new thing to the military. And obviously the CBD thing is a new thing because the CBD is new to everyone. But again, their literal stance is zero hemp. No matter which one of the 50,000 plus byproducts that you can make out of it, you can't have any of them if you're active duty military. Okay, so the U.S. House of Representatives, they overwhelmingly approved the amendment. What happens when the Senate passed their own version? And they just don't even talk about CBD. And so, I guess, one side is clearly saying this is the way it should be, which is the U.S. House of Representatives. The Senate is clearly saying no. And so, call your senator. Call your senator. Tell them you want access to the military for all hemp products. Hemp products. Okay. Pretty easy. All hemp products. And there is a difference, and there is a defined difference in our government. The federal government has clearly defined the difference between hemp and cannabis for all the other purposes, what they like to call marijuana. We clearly define that. And so for the federal government to come along and say, you can't use this perfectly legal product that we just said is perfectly legal, and our farmers are growing it again and it's perfectly legal. It's just absurd. It's just highly absurd. This is kind of fun. I don't know, if you're watching or listening in New Zealand, Fisher's Meat. I don't know how big they are, but they are working on or have a burger that's made of hemp, soy, and pea isolates. So good for them. It's a meat company that's coming up with their own vegan, vegetarian option for a burger. I think that's genius. Again, I don't understand why more of these meat companies or the cotton industry or any of these don't just come out and say, okay, let's have a division that says we can use hemp, honestly, or move to a environmentally friendlier option, or even what we could say is a healthier option. And so it's good for them to know that this is something that is competition to them, and so they might as well make up their own version. I mean, he can it's the smart thing. Again, I don't understand, as a business person, you say, hey, we sell meat already. Why don't we come up with a fakeless meat for all the people that aren't going to buy our meat? It's genius, in my opinion. I don't, what I mean? We'll see. We'll see which one's the first big hamburger company that comes up with something one way or another, because it exists. I mean, we obviously have Beyond Meat, and so Beyond Burger, or you can buy Beyond Meat and it looks like ground hamburger, or ground meat, as you would say. They are a big company that came out with that, and now the other companies, the meat companies, like, it's kind of silly, because again, it's kind of the ostrich stuck with their head in the sand, which I don't think they really do, but that's kind of how it is. It's, status quo is never good enough. Honestly, I don't know. There's no industry in the world where I think status quo is good enough. If you got to be moving forward, and that's just me. That's my opinion, and I believe it's a good one. Continuing to move forward, you'll be moving in a much better direction. That being said, old Magic Johnson, if you don't know, the one of the greatest basketball players of all time, he's getting into the CBD game. Just another big name getting into the CBD game. of course. This is kind of interesting. I know Italy is going through a huge COVID thing, but a 2016 law made low-level THC cannabis legal. Now, in the article, it mentioned up to like 0.6%. And so what's opening up is what they call these cannabis light shops. And so they're, again, selling basically CBD, CBG, CBN, whatever it may be, high, flower, shatter, dabs, all that stuff in all its form. And again, it's only up to 0.6% CBD, but apparently in Rome, these places are opening up everywhere. And so, and it's what I think is really funny in the article. It went as far to mention that it was like most everybody has a green leaf kind of sign and also a big sign that says it's legal on their windows. And so, I think there was definitely a time here that if I was going to put anything CBD related on the windows, I would have probably put a big "it's legal" underneath it, because even the state of Ohio was trying to tell us it wasn't for a while. But anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. So if you're in Rome, look for cannabis light shops for your hemp CBD products. Okay, here we are, finally to the bodybuilding. This is the actual article. The article in the Body magazine, 5 best plant proteins. And of course, I've been talking about this for a while because protein's a big issue with hemp. And of course, now what they say, how they describe it is hemp is a complete plant protein source. It contains all 9 essential amino acids. Obviously, that means something to the bodybuilding world. It doesn't necessarily mean anything to me, but it does to them. And again, it backs up everything we've always said about protein or hemp and protein, is that it's one of the best plant sources of protein on the whole planet. Nowhere else can you get this much protein out of a plant. And they also go on to say that it's rich in minerals and antioxidants, including phosphorus, magnesium, calcium, iron, magnesium, zinc, and copper. And so again, it kind of has a little bit of everything, which is hemp internally and externally, because you get a little bit of everything out of it. You get so much out of it. It's amazing. Anyway, and there you go. That's the news. Not too much going on for events. If you're in Pennsylvania, near Wayne County this weekend, you've got the Pennsylvania Hemp Festival in Honesdale, September 24th and 24th through the 26th. You've got the Hump Expo in Vienna, Austria. Again, not too much time to plan for that. And if you're going to be on a plane, good luck to you. Vegas, if it's open, and again, all these events that I'm mentioning that are going to be open to the public may or may not be open to the public, especially in the United States, because we're still kind of in that in-between. We don't know what's going to happen. I don't think they're going to close stuff again. That's just my opinion. October 6th through the 7th, you've got the RAD Expo in Las Vegas, where the future of cannabis retail begins. October 10th, somewhat local, down in Frankfurt, you've got the Kentucky Hemp and CBD Trade Show. And then nothing too big that I know of until next year on that front. And so again, I do try to put these on the webpage. The first page on our hemptations.com is events we're included in and whatnot. The second page is events, and also I've been trying to add websites so you can go and shop other websites for hemp goods to get the hemp goods that you may, or you probably need if you're shopping for them. So I'm going to say you do need, you may not, I don't know. Anyway, I confused myself there. I did want to, I end the show, and it's with a segment called Ask Beach Anything. We usually don't have any questions, so I don't mention it. I did see Morris Beagle his response kind of to an article that Bob Hoban, who is Hoban Law, Morris Beagle, is he's out of Colorado and organizes NOCO and has been a hemp advocate for as long as we have been open, as far as I know. His history of promoting and educating on hemp goes way back. But apparently Bob Hoban, he asked a question if we truly have a hemp industry. And what he meant was kind of like, if you have all these restrictions on stuff, is it really a hemp? Why call them hemp farmers? Well, they should just be farmers, which I do agree with that. And more to the likes of, because of everything that's kind of going on per state and mixing things up, is it an industry? And then they, the part of the response was, is there a corn industry? Is there a wheat industry? My response to that is that wholeheartedly. I mean, if a product, especially a food product or an agricultural product, has more than one byproduct, then it's creating industries. Of course, of course there's a hemp industry. And of course it was really based on, is there a hemp industry in the United States? And it may not be a big one, but I do believe, and Morris agreed, or Morris, I'm agreeing with Morris actually, as to whether there is a hemp industry in the United States, because there is. We're building a hemp infrastructure for all hemp products, regardless of how many acres are being grown for fiber or CBD or food. We're still building and adding or finding infrastructure to process and make goods out of those things. And so separate industries, I mean, the clothing industry, we're part of the hemp is part of that. You have the food industry for sure. So hemp is obviously a part of that. You have the CBD industry. It's a part of that. You have the construction industry. So it's a part of that. And so there's not only is there a hemp industry, but there's multiple hemp industries that are being born, as we speak, here in the United States. And so, it may not be huge yet in the definition of, I suppose, how you really want to look at industry. You put it all together and it's pretty big. Singularly, the hemp construction industry may not be that big, but it still exists and still moving forward. Same with the fiber industry. The food industry is going to be moving, and obviously the CBD is still going strong. And that's not, you have the cosmetic industry. We already have soaps being there that use hemp in them, so if they're to start buying hemp seed for their soaps or hemp oil for their soaps, once again, there's another industry. And so I agree that I call them hemp farmers because I want to promote what they're farming. But I do agree that, I think that, if you're a farmer, you just want to be called a farmer. You don't want to start growing hemp and then have people call you a hemp farmer. I agree with that. But if you take pride and you should take pride in being a hemp farmer is what I want to say. So that when people call you a hemp farmer, you don't say, well, I'm just a farmer, which is true. It's true. I mean, and that's the way, again, until it's looked at that the farmer that grows hemp is just a farmer instead of a hemp farmer, we're not where we should be in the United States. And, that's the fight we're in the hemp industry that Bob Hoban didn't think existed. In the hemp industry, we're fighting to make true. I don't really, I don't think farmers want to be called hemp farmers. Or again, you don't normally call someone a corn farmer or a bean farmer or whatever. But because of course, they rotate crops as well, and so nobody is normally just one farmer anyway, unless you're kind of a blueberry farmer, which is probably something you only grow, or a grape farmer, so to speak. And so just being a farmer would be great to anyone that wants to get into hemp farming. Again, in Ohio, that's why it's so restricted and so hard, and licensing is too much to do. That your average farmer doesn't want to do it, and they just want to be called a farmer when they're farming hemp. If they're doing corn or soy now, they don't want to be then like pigeonholed, not by the state or their neighbors or anyone, as a hemp farmer. And so I do get that, but there are multiple hemp industries. We're growing the hemp industry as a whole every day. I definitely believe that. All right. There you have it, folks. It's the High Noon Hemp Show every Wednesday, everywhere you go. If you have a question for me, feel free to email me, Facebook me, any old way you want to, and I will try to answer your question, and then I will answer it on the show as well. And so, thanks everybody for watching live. If you're listening later on the podcast or watching later on YouTube or somewhere else, thank you for that as well.
Indeed.
It's been the High Noon Hemp Show. As always, reduce, reuse, recycle, make everything else out of hemp. Having temptations.
See you all next week.